有人同志被你们扣上特务的帽子，逮捕关押，被监狱中间戴了5年的手铐。你不必作假了，三家全部是你有份。
It's November 20th, 1980, Beijing. The courtroom on Justice Road is packed. Every seat filled, cameras ready. The whole country is watching. 10 people are about to walk into this room. Just 4 years ago, they were among the most powerful figures in China. Today, they're defendants, accused of conspiracy, persecution, and turning Chairman Mao's Cultural Revolution into a bloodbath. The charges were grave, framing thousands of party officials, persecuting over 700,000 people, causing the deaths of nearly 35,000. But this trial was about more than punishing the guilty. It was about China itself, its future. About whether a country that spent a decade drowning in chaos can find its way back to order. Whether the law can replace the mob. The leader of the accused is Jiang Qing, Chairman Mao's 4th wife and widow. And when the judges call her name, she'll walk into that courtroom and say something that'll echo through Chinese history. I was Mao's dog. What he said to bite, I bit. Let us go back in time 14 years. The year is 1966. Chairman Mao Zedong has a problem. He's been running China for 17 years. The revolution is won. The Communist Party controls everything. But Mao thinks it's all slipping away. He looks at the Soviet Union and sees them abandoning Stalin's legacy. He looks at his own party and sees bureaucrats getting comfortable, getting soft. He's convinced that unless something drastic happens, capitalism will creep back in. The revolution will die. So Mao launches something new, the Great Proletarian Cultural Revolution. Mao picks his targets, those in positions of authority taking the capitalist road, party officials, intellectuals, anyone Mao suspects of betraying socialism. China's youth were used as the weapon. Students who worship Mao form militant groups called the Red Guards. They're told to challenge authority, to destroy the 4 olds. Old ideas, old culture, old customs, old habits. What happens next is chaos. Red Guards drag officials from their homes. They parade them through the streets, public humiliation, beatings, and worse. 2 of the most powerful men in China, State Council President Liu Shaoqi and Vice Chairman Deng Xiaoping, are purged. Liu dies in prison. Deng is exiled. Schools shut down. Factories stop. Armed groups fight each other in the streets. By 1967, China is on the edge of civil war. Running this madness is a small group of radicals. They call themselves revolutionary. Others will call them the Gang of 4. The leader is Jiang Qing, a former actress, Mao's wife, and now one of the most feared people in China. Her allies are Zhang Quanqiao, a Shanghai politician, Yao Wenyuan, a propagandist, and Wang Hongwen, a young factory worker turned revolutionary. Together, they control who gets denounced, who gets arrested, who lives, and who dies. For 10 years, this continues. Millions of lives are destroyed. Families are torn apart, and the country is paralyzed. Then, in September 1976, Mao dies. Within weeks, the Gang of Four is arrested. The chaos is finally over. But the question remains, what do you do with the people who caused all this? Deng Xiaoping has the answer. He is back from exile, and he has a plan. China needs to move forward, but first it needs justice. It needs closure. It needs to prove that the madness of the Cultural Revolution is really over. So Deng orders a trial, a public trial, broadcast on television following proper legal procedures. This is revolutionary in itself. During the Cultural Revolution, there were no trials, just accusations and mob justice. People dragged before crowds and condemned on the spot. Now China will do something different. The Gang of Four will face a real court with judges and with evidence and with the whole country watching. It takes 4 years to prepare. Investigators collect evidence from over 1 million documents. They interview 178,000 people. They draft new criminal codes because China barely has a legal system after a decade of chaos. The trial is set for November 1980. The address of the building is supposedly number 1 Justice Road, a building belonging to the Ministry of Public Security, and the address isn't even real. An official gives it to the press by mistake, but it sticks. Number 1 Justice Road, a perfectly symbolic name. The courtroom is designed like a stage. A massive national emblem hangs on the wall. Red velvet curtains. The judges sit on a raised platform. Crimson seats. Everything bathed in bright lights. Below them, the defendants dock. 10 chairs, green carpet, metal railings, the lowest position in the room. It's 3 p.m. The bell rings. The lights flood on. One by one, the defendants are called. First is Wang Hongwen, once the youngest rising star in Chinese politics. Now he walks in looking thin, defeated. He sits without making a sound. Then Yao Wenyuan, the propagandist whose articles condemned thousands. He's bald, overweight, trying to look dignified, but failing. The military defendants shuffle in, old men now. One wears a military uniform stripped of all insignia. Then Zhang Chenchuao, disheveled, unshaven. He sits and stares at nothing. Throughout the trial, he'll refuse to speak. Not a single word. Finally, at 3:15 p.m., Jiang Qing enters. She's wearing a long black dress. Her hair is perfectly styled. Expensive glasses. She walks slowly down the aisle, making sure everyone sees her. The audience is disgusted. The newspapers will describe her as a failed actress, still performing, still pretending. Chief Justice Jiang Hua calls the court to order. Then Chief Prosecutor Huang Huaqin stands up to read the indictment. It takes 3 hours. 48 charges, 4 categories: framing party leaders, persecuting 700,000 people, an attempted coup, plans for an armed rebellion. All of it laid out in excruciating detail. Names, dates, evidence. The whole country is watching. This is broadcast on television every night. It's a grand but very real Chinese TV drama. Families gather around shared televisions at work units. Everyone has an opinion. For the first time, people are seeing what really happened during the Cultural Revolution. Not propaganda, not rumors, facts. The trial runs for 6 weeks, 6 days a week. 49 witnesses testified. 651 pieces of evidence are examined. Most of the defendants cooperate. They confess. They beg for mercy. But not Jiang Qing. She defends herself aggressively. She interrupts. She shouts at witnesses. She quotes revolutionary slogans. To rebel is justified. She tries to summon Mao's ghost to protect her. I was Mao's dog, she says. What he said to bite, I bit. And then, to vilify me is to vilify Mao. She's right, of course. Everything she did under Mao's orders. Everyone knows it. But Mao isn't in the dock. He can't be. He's dead. And the government needs his legacy intact. If Mao falls, the whole Communist Party falls with him. So the trial performs a delicate trick. It separates the person from the ideology. The defendants are guilty. Mao Zedong thought is still valid. The distinction was clear. Crimes versus errors. A crime violates the law. An error violates the laws of history. The Gang of Four committed crimes. Mao made errors. It's a clever piece of theory, and it'll be spelled out even more clearly 6 months later when the party issues its official historical resolution. But for now, in this courtroom, the focus is on the Gang of Four. The verdict comes in late January 1981, after 4 weeks of deliberations. All 10 defendants are guilty. Sentences range from 16 years to death. Jiang Qing gets death. So does Zhang Qinchuao. But both sentences are suspended, later commuted to life in prison. The trial is over, but what did it accomplish in the end? In practical terms, not as much as hoped. China's legal system remains weak. Courts are still tools of the state. Political prosecutions continue. But symbolically, it meant everything. The trial marked the end of one era and the beginning of another. The decade of chaos was officially over. Now comes stability, law and order. For the Chinese people, the trial offered something they desperately needed: closure. A chance to see their tormentors held accountable. A chance to understand what happened. And for the government, the trial bought legitimacy. It proved the Communist Party could acknowledge its mistakes. It could deliver justice, and it could move forward. 6 months after the verdict, the party issues its historical resolution, the final judgment on the Cultural Revolution. The document is careful. It criticizes Mao's later years but praises his earlier achievements. It condemns the Cultural Revolution as a comprehensive error, but it reaffirms Mao Zedong thought as the guiding philosophy of Chinese socialism. Jiang Qing never stopped defending herself. In prison, she remained defiant. She believed history would vindicate her. On May 14, 1991, she was found hanged in her cell. Suicide, according to officials. She left behind a note. "Chairman," it said, "your student and fighter is coming to see you." With Deng Xiaoping in charge, China is ready to modernize, to open up, and to leave the chaos behind. But there's a cost to this tidy narrative. The deeper questions went unanswered. Why did the party let the Cultural Revolution happen? Why didn't anyone stop it sooner? These questions are buried. The trial and the resolution draw a line under the past. Everything before 1976 is the old era. Everything after is new. It's transitional justice on Chinese Communist Party terms. Not perfect, not complete, but functional, at least for the time being. And for a country exhausted by violence, that was enough.